ASAP, ASAP, ASAP. ASAP, ASAP, ASAP. ASAP, ASAP, ASAP.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of #HuddleUP, the podcast. First off, I just want to thank you guys for all the support that y'all have given us just starting off this entire podcast. All the feedback, all the videos, all the posts, the questions, the comments, the subscribing to the page. We thank you guys so much for your love and support. I'm telling you, it does not go unappreciated. So we just want to thank you so much. Guys, we have a great episode for you today. But first off, before we do anything, I want to introduce myself. I'm Byron Johnson, B Johnson Official on Instagram. To my right, I have my man,
the one, the only, Christopher King, Crisis King 34.
What's good, y'all? Terry Mountain 23 on Instagram. Thank you again for tuning in. It means the world.
And wait.
Hold on.
Last time.
Hold on.
I know y'all noticed that it's one more person that we have. And this is my guy right here to my left. D.
Hold on.
Daryl Dewey. The great.
Like they put all the pressure on me. Hey, you know, I gotta live up to the pressure. Hey, I'm Daryl Dewey, man. These are my brothers right here. Truly honored that they allowed me to come on their podcast and be a part of this with them, man. And Instagram, Maturn_quietly. Maturn with just an N, no G.
No G.
Just an N _quietly. So, hit me up. Don't hit me up, it's okay. Yeah, right.
We're gonna live without you.
Just before y'all know anything, Daryl's my quarterback. Well, he's our quarterback in high school. I made him look good. I mean, it's just the way it is. I mean, I'm just kidding. He definitely.
No, you telling the truth. I had a lot of guys surrounding me that made me look way better.
That's true. You did your thing, bro. But no, real talk though. One of the best men of God that I know. He's a married man. Yeah, ladies, man. He's a married man. Sean,
yeah, man. I mean, it's not the it's the rubber ring because I work. Don't worry about that, man.
The ring, as long as it's down on that finger, dog. And he also is about to be a father.
Yeah,
it's a big thing. He's ready.
Can't wait, man. Can't wait. August 22nd, man. August 22nd.
Tell a whole 2 days for the 24th. That's my birthday.
2 days? Yeah. I mean, everybody, it's a range there. People are like, hey, I mean, whenever my dog decides to drop, he's gonna drop, and I just
on his time.
On his time.
Let's start off a little warm-up thing that we do. I want to ask a question. What's something, guys, that you battled with this week? And the person that I want to start with is Terry.
Oh, man.
Start it off, man.
Quick. Man, this week, it was real. Being able to be back surrounded by y'all was one of the biggest things, man. Just really being right next to y'all in the flesh, seeing that drive, seeing that passion, seeing that commitment. That was something that just got me amped up and ready to go. And one thing about how we act is not typical. So when you take this into an environment that's not typical, you stand out. So something I had to battle with this week was finding that balance between humility and pressing on to show that, hey, I'm here. So that same thing at work, it's so similar to that football field.
Yeah.
Because it's like, man, you don't got it all figured out. You go make mistakes, but you that boy.
Yeah.
You can work, you can compete with the best of them. Right. So having that mindset, and y'all inspired me so much because that's where it all started 8 years ago. Right. When we was like, man, hey, we could ball with anybody. So just bringing that to work, man, that was something I struggled with. Just making sure I know, like, hey, you producing, but you also need to be humble enough to get criticism. Or, hey, you're not producing. You need to be humble enough to understand that you are going to produce one day. What about you, man?
For me, it's actually somewhat similar to that, actually. I think what I struggle with is just understanding my perspective on a lot of different things, understanding like my mindset and how my mind works sometimes, but also take into account other people's mindsets and how that I can learn from them and vice versa, and just kind of putting all that together and understanding that I'm different, but still using, the people that God is surround me with, whether it be good or bad, and taking that, as like you said, constructive criticism or things you need to tweak or things you need to adjust or get better at, and just constantly like have that, like you said, that improvement, that room for improvement. Exactly. That's probably something I struggle with this week. And even to this day, I'm still, working at it, getting better at it. So, yeah.
Okay. For me, it was really frustration and complacency, man, and it really stems from understanding that, for one, I'm married, like we discussed already, right? So right now, I'm just the head of the household, and then again, as we discussed, I got a baby on the way, a little son on the way, man. So with all of that, it's just like, man, it's just so much responsibility that comes with it, and I don't want to get complacent and then stop striving to continue to provide for my family, because I know the potential that I have.
Exactly.
And then when I feel myself not living up or not striving to get better with the potential that I know I have, it gets frustrating, because the situation I'm in now is I wouldn't even call it a situation. I'm married, I love my wife, I got a son on the way, love him, man. We got a beautiful family coming, man. So I'm happy about that, but I know I can do a lot better when it comes to leading and providing for my family. So that's where my frustration and complacency, that's where that comes from.
For me, I would definitely say this week, something I've struggled with has been worrying. Just lately, man, honestly, I think I've been thinking a lot about my future, and just, I feel like there's so many things going on at one time. Like, at times, you understand that, when you do want to do things at a very high level, you kind of got to get used to that chaos,
Seriously.
to control chaos, because you really have to. You have to handle it, you know what I mean, or otherwise you're gonna break down, you can go crazy, anything like that. So just worrying in a sense, and I think that's an issue I've always had, but definitely this week, for whatever reason, it's been on my mind. So, but like I always say, the people that you surround yourself with help you, just to kind of find yourself again, bring you back to ground zero, and show you who you are at your core. So I mean, that's why something like this just, us being in, having the chance to be together and talk and do these things, I mean, that's always positive for me, just because, it takes everything else away. It just kind of allows me to just, I'm Byron. I don't have to think about everything. I don't have to think about 5 months from now, 10 years from now, whatever. Like, I can think about today, you know what I mean, in this moment. So, that's something that I've struggled with, and like we said, guys, this is about accountability. This is about having a group. Don't be afraid to talk to people that you are close to or that you have in your circle about these types of things. Because one, obviously you're not the only one going through those things, but also two, you can benefit greatly from just having someone in your corner that you can talk to and that y'all can pour into each other. Because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. So, all right, guys. So the very first question that I want to start it off with is, and I've been thinking about this one. What is the difference between dating and courting?
Whoa.
Who gonna touch that?
That's a good one. I got it. I'm gonna start it off.
I'm married, man.
I feel like everything, man, it's a process. So I feel like courting it was invented to be the first step of the dating process, I guess, if that makes sense. Because you court first, which is a man and woman come together, and they come together and get to know each other and get to know certain facts about each other and just try to feel the vibe off each other. See, like, okay, am I really into you? Am I not into you? Do I like this about you? Do I not like that about you? And then I feel like from that stage, from the courting stage, as you get to know one another, it kind of matures into the dating stage. At that point, if you want to say, okay, we're actually together, as in boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever.
So you feel like they tied, kind of like they kind of intertwined in a sense.
I feel like it's a step to the next step. So I feel like
I agree with that.
Step. Yeah,
I agree with that, but I think it's flipped.
Yeah, I think it's
dating.
I think it's dating then courting.
Because dating, you get to know, and like you said, like we get to know what we like, what we don't like, and stuff like
courting
that.
narrows it down.
Yeah, and then when you court, you're like, okay, I'm intentionally with you.
So let me put it like this. The terms, guys, I'm sorry. If I got that backwards, but I'm just going off the top because the question was asked. I'm going off the top of what I feel like it is. But if I got them flipped, I got to do my research. I'll do some stuff, get it better. But I feel like at the end of the day, with me being married, man, when I can look back on me and my wife, like we took it for like the first month for sure. We took it slow, like we let nobody know. We was kind of just filling each other out, and we really we went on a date, couple dates. Just to get to know one another. Not really nothing deeper than that, because we wanted, at that point, we was like, let's make sure this is what, you know, you're the man of God that God wants me in her part, and then you're the woman that God sent to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we definitely took it slow. But, I mean, what y'all think, man?
Alright. I think dating is, like, you can date anybody, to me.
Okay.
You're not gonna court anybody. You know what I mean? Like, with dating, it's like a wide pool. You know, you could date this girl, you could date this girl. You can date multiple people at a time.
Okay.
You're not I don't think you're courting multiple people at a time. I mean, yeah, it's frowned upon, but
hey,
I mean, and if you're married, one of us illegal. But I think with courting, like you and that person, y'all have like you said, a specific goal in mind, or you know, to be exclusive or to be married or anything like that, like an intentional goal, and that's what you're working towards. Dating to me is much more of a wide array of, you know, options and stuff. Courting, y'all focused on each other. You know, so like you said, how you thought it was flipped, I think the same thing. Like, I think dating is, you know, it's you know, it's that little process and stuff. Y'all are getting to know each other and stuff. Courting is, okay, I feel this way about you. I feel this way about you. Let's go to this, you know, to this destination. Or let's, you know, take this journey together, whatever.
Cause like when I'm thinking about dating though, it's like I'm thinking dating as in singles. I'm dating one person. Like I was dating my wife. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
You know, not necessarily dating multiple women. I was thinking about in single. You know,
Is
What you think, Tim?
yeah.
I think personally, like I didn't know the terms either.
Right.
You know, I'm just living. But not like that.
I'm with you, man.
But we really, I'm a man of synonyms. I love to make things make sense for me through like synonyms and comparing to other things. But think about relationships in general. As a young person, if you were in need of money, right? It don't matter what the job is. You're gonna take something that's, you know, easily applicable, pays well. I'm gonna go get my money.
Right.
I mean, okay, they pay $8, $9 an hour. Okay, I'm gonna work this, but I know this is not what I want to do for the rest of my life. You
Oh, I see exactly what you're doing. I see
So
what you're doing.
I like you brought that
For a
together.
second, I was
I like how you brought that
Yes,
together.
sir.
See,
You like that? I just
my
playing.
wheels are spinning.
But
you know?
when you seeking a career, it's different. Like you said, I took a month to this.
I'm
Man,
between jobs
you
and-
like, okay, can I really see myself? Then you go fill it out.
Right.
You go to the interview, but in the interview, you gonna be looking for stuff too. They gonna be interviewing you. You gonna be interviewing them.
Right.
And but you know, in the dating phase, or in the, you know, I'm just trying to make money
Dating, you
phase,
just getting jobs.
you're just trying to get jobs,
Right.
and you go see,
That
you
makes
know,
sense.
them jobs might do whatever,
You see
but
what
your
you like, you
commitment
see what you
level,
don't. Right,
oh,
right,
your
right.
commitment level gonna be gone.
Right.
'Cause
I know that's for me
Just
personally.
look at us. Like, how many jobs have you had
Seriously.
over your lifetime?
In the past 5 years, I probably worked 10 jobs.
Right. And you found out what you didn't like, what you did like. That's the same thing as dating phase. So I see
It
exactly
helps,
what
it
you're doing.
helps you find
Right.
your career.
Exactly.
And when you do find that career, courtship,
Right.
now you're a lot more intentional. Like, man,
Exactly.
I love this, and I don't want
Exactly.
to go.
And like, and you can focus on giving it your all, because then
Right.
you're comfortable, because like it's what you really want,
Yeah,
it's
right.
what they really want.
Yeah.
So it's like, bro, I could not be worried about all the other things, because let's think about it right
Don't worry
here.
about the jobs no more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now we in that phase where it's like we just working the job. You really not giving that job your all, because you only just want the money.
Right.
In the last episode, we talked about that lust, and you're not appreciating stuff. When you're in that phase where it's just like this, and that, you can't appreciate what that person brings to the table.
Right.
But once you're in that committed mindset, I really feel like every little thing you do gonna be like, wow, that's a privilege that you would do that for me.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know?
And it's always to an intended purpose and goal.
Exactly.
I feel that.
I like
Exactly.
that. I like
I
that.
agree.
See, y'all just learned me something, man. Y'all just learned me
No.
something. Real talk.
Come on.
No, but really though, like a lot of times, bro, we go through life and we have a certain
Mindset.
thought of something, but then when you get around people and you actually talk about it,
Yeah.
you actually understand. Okay, well maybe I was thinking about that the other way
Right.
around. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Maybe now I see it from a
Mhm.
different. You know,
Elevates your perspective.
Right.
And the craziest thing also, bro, there's really no time frame on learning all this type of stuff.
No.
It's
And
life,
like, I
right.
feel like sometimes in courtship, in dating, we always look at a person where it's like, oh, you 24, you ain't learned that yet, or you 20. Bro, a lot of the times you might be that person that
Yeah.
needs to
yeah.
elevate them, or be that person where it's like, oh, we got other jobs out there that you're better for.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
You can elevate somebody or whatever just at the snap of a finger. You know what I mean?
right.
Somebody can get around your company and they can skyrocket, or vice versa.
Vice
you can
versa.
get around somebody.
Oh, yeah.
You can get around a woman and she show you and teach you things that you may have never ever seen. At all. So we're gonna get to you, Chris. I got a question for you,
What
and
you got?
for the rest
What
of
you
you
got?
guys.
What you got?
I gotta ask my main man first.
All right.
What is something? Well, what do you deem more important? The physical qualities of a woman or the spiritual qualities of a woman?
Whew.
That's tough, ain't it?
Yeah, it's tough.
As a start.
Sips coffee.
But honestly, y'all might say it's a cop out, but man, I need both.
Why would you say both?
Because they're both so important. They're both so important. Like, because if I just have one and not the other, it's not gonna work.
And I asked that in the sense of saying, could you be patient for one or the other? Like, is it like,
That's a good question.
physical
That's a good question,
is
Mark.
there, but we
That's a
gotta
good question,
develop
Mark.
that spiritual. Are you willing to do that?
Okay. Let me break it down. So like, and that's a really good question. But the only thing about that is,
Yes,
like, time is something we can't get back,
I feel you.
right? So when dating, in a relationship where you're getting to know a woman, right? You clearly can see her physical, because it's on the front,
Like it's there right now.
Right. So you kind of automatically can assess that. And if you, find that physical attractiveness there, then you dive more into getting to know the person, right? Now, there's this thing called, and I'm sure we all heard it before, unequally yoked, right? Some people may think unequally yoked is just, one person's a Christian, one person's not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's so much deeper than that in terms of one Christian might be at this level and one might be just starting at a baby Christian. Nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But being at two different levels, y'all not always going to see eye to eye on some things because she or he is just becoming new to a lot of things, right? And you understand something to a different level.
I feel you.
So, yes, could you grow in that? Of course, most definitely. But that takes time, that takes effort, that takes energy, that takes pushing and pulling. That's a lot of stuff.
I got a question. What's your middle name, bro?
Harrison.
Christopher Harrison. What do you personally feel like
he made him skip the runaround.
when you have? I'm gonna give you a direct question. If she is all physicality beautiful, 10 out of 10,
Facts.
are you willing to grow her spiritually? Since I already know you, I know you know deep on your spiritual walk. Are you willing to take somebody that's a baby Christian, quote unquote, and develop her?
Question, boy.
What you feel like?
Is she on point though, right?
She on point.
Well,
Potential love.
well, us being men,
Come on now.
we are naturally leaders, right?
Yes, sir.
So I would definitely not have a problem with leading her.
Come on.
Most
Hey,
definitely.
whoa. Hold on, Chris King. Hold on, Chris
Well, you
King.
got to say
You just say no. Hold on.
Stop.
Remember the question.
You want to do it? Go ahead.
Remember the question now.
No, everybody, we're listening to him now.
Okay, remember the question.
The question was, okay, I'm gonna go back. Initially, the first question was, what's more important?
Right.
Physical or spiritual?
In both.
You said both.
Equally, yeah.
But then when it got broke down to that level of she got all the looks, but she down here on the spiritual level.
No, he didn't say down. He said a
Baby Christian.
Right. She's still it's still a
That's the
Christian.
same thing I just said.
Okay. Okay.
Now listen, when it got broke down to that level, what your true answer came out. It's all about the looks. That's
No,
your
it's
true
not
answer.
all about the looks.
That's
But you were willing to work with it because of the
That's what I
look.
said.
Right.
So it's all about the looks, Christian.
How is that all about the looks when I'm willing to work at that?
Because you said, okay.
Because of her being a 10 out of 10, facts.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Now
because
you're
we are
willing to
men,
work with it.
I got you,
Because
bro.
we're men.
I got you,
No,
bro.
no.
Put it backwards then. Would you be willing if she up here spiritually, but you feel like physically she could get better? Would you?
As far as what? The face?
You know
That's
what
what
I'm
I'm saying. Like,
the
only thing with physical is, like, yes, you can get better, but, like, how much can you... I feel like there's not as much as leeway when physical... Because,
I get you like what you like.
Right, and I'm not saying because the implants and stuff like that, that's all, you know, that's not getting better, you know what I mean? So I just say like looks because looks is necessarily something that it has less leeway than, somebody can grow spiritually. Like, for spiritually, God can allow something to happen in your life, you can shoot up, within a small amount of time.
Right.
That's why, like, looks, especially at our age now, like, yeah, you could, tighten up, or you could, do a little, you could do a little things, but you gonna look like how, you know what I mean? Like, you gonna look how you look. So I'm not gonna want to be like, you gotta look better for me to.
No.
I'm not gonna want to change you because that's how you look.
What I'm saying is, I'm not saying looks aren't important. I'm not saying that because you want to be physically attracted to your soon-to-be girlfriend, future wife, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, we gotta understand that looks can fade. Honestly,
facts. Most definitely will.
They will fade. Right. Things can happen throughout life to where she might look like this today, but in a few years she's not gonna look like that.
Agreed.
So really, what's more important is her looks that important because they're gonna diminish.
Right. You see, but you say that.
Let me get you. I'm asking.
Let me get you. I know you gonna know this answer. The analogy of the cake. Okay, to me.
I don't know this
we about to go there. Look.
All
right, look. So you got a cake, right?
Okay.
Y'all seen? I'm sure y'all seen this on Twitter. Okay.
Right.
So a cake, a cake has the base of the cake is the breaded part, the cake, the inside of it, whatever. But you can't have the cake without the icing. Now, the icing is what makes the cake sweet, but the bread gives it that substance. They go hand in hand.
I need both.
I need both. Like, honestly, but with that being said, there's always going to be more bread or cake than there is icing.
Of course.
So,
but I still need that cake.
But you still need icing. So, like, to me, of course, like, obviously, we're men. We think that that's important. It is. Like, and even women, man, come on. Like, no, women, they have to be attracted to, the guy that they talk to, too. Let's not diminish, like, men are all just, we only look at physical and women don't look at it at all. They definitely look at it, too. But I know for a fact, it only speaks for us, we have to have that icing. But, when you get that complete woman, when you have that complete woman, there is more cake than there is icing. But you want the icing to be...
So what's the cake?
The cake is the spiritual, the inside, the substance
of who she is.
The actual substance.
Like you said, that doesn't necessarily fade throughout time.
Yeah. Like a cake. If a block of cake is this big, most of this is the cake part, right? Yeah. This is the icing.
Well, I'm just saying what the physical is additives. That's something that can be subtracted or taken away. Okay. It's something like the body of the cake. What makes a cake is the body. Yeah. You know what I mean? The bread part is what you're saying.
That's why I say there's more of that.
Right.
And so... the spiritual, or not even just spiritual, the emotional, the mental, all of that is what makes up the majority. But you can't neglect that icing either.
So for me, my answer is both.
Yes.
Byron, what would you say?
I'd say both.
Daryl?
You want a cake? Okay, you want a cake with... but either way, to me, you
like
gotta
say... No, but like I said, okay, so the question is, what's more important? I don't think that should be the question then. Because if
so what should be the question?
The question is, cause like really, okay, if you got a 10 out of 10 woman out there, and I'm not blocking them. 10 out of 10. My wife is a 10.
Yeah, you're going, of course, everybody.
But I'm just saying, so for the whole world's view, okay, we see one woman and she's a 10. What are the, and like you said, if she is a baby Christian, what if she's not a Christian at all, though? Like you still gonna deal with it?
No, that's a wrap.
Okay, just making sure. I'm just trying to figure out like, on where this comes from.
Yeah.
Looks. But she had to look. She has to be somewhat of a Christian.
What was that?
Okay, so
they clapped at the same
and I'm just trying to be honest. Like, if I'm being 100% completely honest, like, looks do matter, and spirituality matters most definitely. But with that being said, if I'm not physically attracted to you, then I'm not going to pursue you in a way that, I want to date you, I want to court you. Because, I'm just going to look at you like a beautiful, a great woman, but more so like a sister in Christ. Versus having that physical attraction and be like, man, I could really see myself marrying or pursuing this woman. So I think it goes hand in hand for me.
So, I agree with you. I I don't care what none of us say. I mean, if that was the case, we would all walk around as souls. Like, to me, I mean, there's a reason that we have our looks, like we have certain things, and I mean, you can't neglect that attractiveness. I mean, you can't say it's not important because people, I mean, for deeper reasons, but I mean, in the truth, like, you know, people have issues because they're not attracted to each other anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it matters. I just don't think it's the end all be all. But it's just like a job interview. You're not going to the job interview dressed like this.
Right.
You're not. You're going to wear your best suit.
Right.
You're going to wear your best whatever. You know. Now, I would hope that you don't get lax on the job and totally just, you know, become a different person than you were at the interview. But you are going to relax a little bit, you know. But the main thing is that when you started to get that job and get that interview, you were your best self. Like, so that attractiveness matters. That's a real thing.
My deal with, if I had to play devil's advocate, because I do agree. But I really feel like this as well. If you attack it from the wrong way with the physicality, you won't allow for that glow up phase to happen either.
And I'm gonna say
because if you're 23 right now, well, I'm 23 right now. At 27, I can look much better than this. But if you caught me at 23 and was like, "Hey, his spiritual walk is what's up,"
right?
But you know, his physical is like not as to my standards. We never know.
But think about that though. You just said 5 years.
It don't even have to be that long.
No, I'm just saying, like,
right,
in that example, that's
Time.
5 years. Like, somebody's not getting back if they were like, "Oh, well, I'm going to see," and then that's only with the assumption that one, you want to get better.
Right.
Not everybody wants to be like, "No, I think I can."
And when I say get better, because bro, a lot of the times, and if we just talking about the female race, I mean, you know, gender,
Female race.
they can figure something out. Like, they can already look good, but then they can be like, "Oh man, like I figured out how to dress," or "I figured out my style," and stuff like that. Whereas like their physical didn't really have to change, but it's like, "Oh wow, her confidence is up." They found themselves. But I'm saying it might take you to help them find themselves. I'm not saying it's your job, but it really might take. Okay, a man really came up in, he believed in me. I feel myself now, cause I'm with my girl right now. I'm gonna be in. She'll tell you the truth. Bro, when I met her in October, she looked one way, and I feel like I poured into her spirit enough, and we both poured into each other's spirit, built up each other's confidence, so you walk with your head high. You want more things that's like, man, I'm wearing this and I own this. You know what I mean? But, you know, that time frame is something,
but that has to do
that's
with,
scary.
That has to do with your inside, though.
Seriously.
You know what I mean? Because, nobody's, well, it could, but I think when you're pouring into somebody and, you know, you're pouring positivity, pouring good things into them, I mean, you know, their insides perk up a little bit more. Because, I mean, confidence really isn't an outside, it's an inside outcome. You know what I mean? Right. So it's internal. So, you know, I think that that's spiritual. That's why that spiritual does matter, I think, slightly more, I would say. But, like we said, to make the whole cake, you need the icing. No doubt. But in a cake, there's more bread than there is icing. That's the analogy. I mean, I think it's a great analogy, personally. Just because
I'm sure there's a bunch of 44-year-old women out there that will probably look at themselves when they're 19 or 20 or our age and be like, "Wow, I look much better right now than I did back then."
But are they a better person?
Well, I'm just saying in the sense of if we only we put a lot of value in the physical.
I don't think we put a lot of value, but I don't think we should neglect it either.
I don't think we should neglect it.
That's my biggest thing. Just don't neglect
it. You gotta just have that room for potential in my opinion.
I mean, yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. I personally, I would say myself. I could analyze myself. I mean, I probably was because I was playing ball, was in my best shape. You know, 21, 20, whatever like that. I'm still in good shape now, but I'm a better person at 25. Right. Now, obviously, that's young, you know, whatever. But I'm a better person overall at 25. So it's not saying that I don't neglect my physical.
Right. I mean, I want to look good.
I still want to look good.
Right.
Yeah. I still want to look good for my wife, my girl, whatever. You know, but I'm just saying that the physical part of it, you still take, you know, into consideration and things. You still hold it at a high value. Yeah. But I think all of us can say we definitely work more on ourselves inside than we ever have at any time. You know what I mean? I think all of us can say that that's more important to us at this time in our life because of us time. Just like you said, that was 5-6 years ago that we, you know, probably were in the best shape of our life. But were you the best person that you could be?
Right.
Probably not.
I know I wasn't. 5-6 years ago.
Were you married 5 years ago? No.
Was I think about marriage 5 years ago?
No.
What happened? I met my wife.
Come on. So tell us about whenever you met your wife, was it more of a spiritual connection mentally?
I mean, I can't say more spiritual just because at that point, at that point she was. You talking about baby Christians? I thought it was the baby Christian. She was obedient at that point.
But did you know that before you met her? Did you feel like it was a baby Christian?
What did I what?
Did you feel like it was a baby Christian, but even before you met her?
Yeah, I felt like I was a baby Christian because I was just not getting into it. I had just started really reading my Bible like that, and that was before I met her. Really, I had just started reading my Bible consistently. So when I met my wife, of course, like I said, it's physical. So I'm attracted to her. Yes. Right. But then you push past that and you push deeper. So now it's about personality. It's about background, where you come from. It's about your family, where you come from. Do they have a solid background? Are they, Christians? How solid are they in that? And then all that, all those boxes were checked for me and my wife, because I can't ask for a better wife. I can't ask for a better in-laws, because I love her parents, her brothers, her sister. And it's just, it flows, man. So like, I've been in relationships to where, y'all know, it's turmoil from day one, right? We all know that. We all know that. Okay, everybody knows. Yeah. But this one, man, it was from day one. It wasn't turmoil. It was just peace, man. It was just peace.
You see, I just think it's a process. You know what I mean? Like, I think you see the physical first, because that's literally what you see, and then once you push past that, like you said, now you start really learning and developing and seeing like who they are, like the essence of
like
who
what
they
makes
are.
them.
Right. Now, I'm like, if they don't have that essence and that's not like, in alignment with the physical beauty and just as beautiful in the inside as outside, then obviously, like, that's not going to work. You know what I mean? So I don't want to say, that's why I don't say it's one over the other. I think it's just one first and then the next.
Yeah, because the physical comes first, because if you're not physically attracted to him, like you said, like I agree with it. If you're not physically attracted to him, you won't approach him, you won't even want to talk to him. You be like, oh, hey, we cool as a sister, yeah, you cool. Like, I see what you're saying. I'm not just agreeing with y'all. But at the same time, I feel like it goes physical first, because now you're attracted to him, then you got to push past that and understand, okay, what are you made of? Like, what do you believe in? What do you stand for?
My biggest fear with that, and like I agree and I understand, but my biggest fear with
all that stuff.
We have to be watching the show.
We just know you in the conversation.
But again, as you have a conversation, man, you really, and as you listen to people talk, you gotta change the way you're looking at it. So you gotta look at it from a different angle. So I'm seeing what y'all saying. Like, it's important. It really is, because you have to be attracted to the woman so that you can approach it and you be like, okay, now push past that. That's what I'm saying. Push past that and figure out.
Exactly. So, and piggybacking off of Daryl, but going with y'all points, my biggest fear about just thinking about it in that way would be if there was a spiritual connection, not just spiritual, but there was a connection, but you would kind of question the physical a little too much to the point where you ignore maybe something that he sent to help you grow. Just like he said, his wife came in and took him from a baby Christian to making those powerful steps.
I got a question then now. Yeah. So, that begs the question. Would God send you somebody that you're not necessarily physically attracted to?
I think I want to attack that in like a different route than many would take.
All right, what you got?
I feel like whenever we really commit ourselves to God and we aiming towards Him, we'll be able to meet other people that's on that same wavelength, and we'll open ourselves up to receiving the blessings from Him. So I feel like a wife is a blessing, or a relationship is a blessing. So when you going and you trying to seek Him, He allows for those other things to come.
But just because a woman is godly doesn't necessarily mean she's for you. Not just that, and that means she's for you.
True. But that's the deal. If you're not seeking Him, I feel like you wouldn't even see it from that perspective anyway. It will just all be on you. You'll be the judge of who is, worthy enough to enter your life on that realm.
Let me Johnson again, because he get you right.
Yeah,
Go ahead, bro.
But as much as that's true, you can operate in the spirit as much as you want. Like, we're not God. We're humans still. Yeah. So even with that,
the pool though, bro.
But but at the same time, like, I may see more spiritual things, but I still need to see.
No, but
or like
here's my point. We feel like we're 4 spiritual men, and Daryl's married. So 3 people would be not married right now. Now, if a woman was to walk up in here, if she feels like those are three godly men, I can feel like, okay, I'm attracted to that one right there, where I would want to develop. And I feel like the world is like that. There's a lot of spiritual women out there. So when I said you on a path to Christ, there's somebody else out there that looks attractive is on the path to Christ as well. But I'm saying we attack it from the sense of we only looking and seeing, okay, artists like that, and then the spiritual's right.
So you're saying look for the spiritual first?
Not even look. I feel like you go feel it. Just like
I feel like you can be really attracted to the spiritual before you even attracted to the physical. Really, if you look at it from what you're saying.
Seriously.
How?
Because it can help you grow. Because like if you're aiming towards God, and like if we were legit, because you know we all had times where we really weren't aiming towards God, and we're trying to do it on our own. But it's like when you live in a different type of life, it's gonna be certain words and certain things that you go hear from your potentials. That might be like, okay.
But you still, at the end of the day, find that woman attractive. That's my thing. Like,
no doubt.
No. I get what you're saying as far as like, you know, the spiritual and everything. I definitely get that. But I don't think I do it. I mean, no, it's not. No, it's not that I don't feel like I could do it first. I just still think that I'm still at some point, no matter what, going to look at that and be like, okay, like you know when you're kind of like. I guess like in your head really assessing it like, okay, well, yes, this. All right, I like this. Like you have to still feel that way about the natural things.
I think right now because we're not at a point right now where we're just looking at every woman, but not every woman is like just ugly. You know what I mean? So I'm saying if they help you grow and you find them attractive, you go start to lower how much weight you put on that physical attractiveness.
Okay,
I promise. I really feel like that.
I see what
you know what I mean? Like, bro, if you really feel like, bro, man, this girl really came in and I find her attractive, and then we go to that potential part.
But you said, and I find her attractive. That's the thing. Did I find her attractive? You just said, if I'm not going to lower it. Like
not ugly is not the standard for me. I'm just gonna.
I feel what you said, but I really feel like, and actually, Daryl, you take that away.
But he's attracted to his wife.
No, I'm just saying. Like Daryl was speaking on that point earlier, where it's just like she was able to come in,
right,
and transform him from a baby Christian to a more mature Christian.
But
let's say you're friends. Right? Let's say you're friends with somebody, and then they're developing you at that same time, like. That attractiveness may go up. We don't know that. Have you ever had a woman come in and develop you spiritually yet? So we can't really speak on that. I'm speaking on the terms of I met a woman who was able to come in and help me grow spiritually to the point where I could sit here and feel comfortable. To your girl, though. I am attracted to her, but the first thing she did was like really expose me to something else.
So you're saying you didn't really see her in a...
I wasn't looking for it. It came into my lap, and I was like, "Oh wow, that could be somebody that I can develop with." But if you view it from that perspective too hard, and I know y'all don't view it too hard, but some people do. If you view it from that perspective, you would X out the spiritual that could come in.
I get what you're saying.
You feel me?
I mean, I get what you're saying as far as
that's more high for.
But
you got it.
I think that I don't think you're clarifying it enough because to me. Like, you're attracted to your wife, you're attracted to your girl. Like, you still... I feel like if you just totally weren't attracted to her like that, she wouldn't be your girl.
Yeah,
like,
I feel you.
She may affect you spiritually, I think, but she still wouldn't be your girl.
You want to know the dangerous part of what I'm trying to be careful with it? The dangerous part about it is if you put too much weight on that physical, out of 100 girls, about 80 of them you're going to be attracted to. Like... even if we say 50, it's gonna be more than one, is what I'm saying. It ain't gonna be 100 girls and it's gonna be like one that is like, oh, that's the only one I could develop with. So if you put so much weight on the physical, you can allow for competition. If somebody can come grow you spiritually, and then you find them attractive, that competition goes down because I know there's girls that look just as good as my girl. But it's like, I know she brings something to the table that even if somebody else find, they can't bring that to the table.
But they still go hand in hand.
That's what I'm saying. All four of us on the same page.
I'm just saying from different areas.
It's like, hey,
I do get you,
bro. Like that's
really,
a big deal.
Like when it comes to physical, right? I'm married. My wife, she pregnant, right? Mm-hmm. that physical changed. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
It had to be. So it had to be there.
I know. I'm just saying it's not a bad thing. It's a beautiful thing. But if I was so superficial to where it was all about looks, I might not even feel the same way about her.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because now she don't look how she looked when we first got together.
Right.
Her body has matured. Now she's about to be a mother.
Mhm.
So like, I see what you're saying. Like, it's important to have both, but you can't be so hung up on the physical because some people, like you said earlier, like you said earlier, they got marriages now that people been married 10, 20, 30 years, and they partner look the same, and they don't even like them.
Yeah.
You ain't the person. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can't put so much on the physical. It has to be deeper than just physical.
But you see, but my fear is because I've also like heard couples, like older couples.
Beautiful. That baby was something, by the way.
But I've heard like people that have not really been, you know, crazily attracted to their spouse, but had that spiritual connection, and then like years down the line, they wasn't that attractive from the jump. So as time progressed, you know, the bodies change and stuff like that. So like, there's no real, you know, passion or desire physically, and they just like, oh, like we work great together, like we're this, but we're not. Like, we don't have sex. We don't do these things. You know what I mean? Because I think that's real. I think people really go through that.
But why I feel the way I feel, because the goal of marriage is, this year's 2019. If you was to get married this year, you would hope to be married for the rest of your life.
Right.
If you are on a spiritual journey with somebody, they're going to be that only person 30 years down the road that can even relate to you. Mm-hmm. You can't really relate to that physical like talking about. So that's why I really just feel like, and maybe if somebody come, you know, stir up your spirit in a way, and then you'll like see it differently. I was on the same page a couple months ago.
It's funny because y'all two are, I mean, you married, but y'all,
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was
We're taking it from different.
I mean, yeah, but you can tell the perspective. It's like, yeah.
Like, it's really because because I started to think, okay, what if this is the one? I do hope, you know, if she is, it is. But it's like, if this is the one, this person has helped me grow right now to a spiritual level. What can we do together?
Right.
Like, I feel like it's a partnership, but if we view it,
I think
with
it's about
all those
perspective,
other
like you said.
things, it's gonna be rough.
It's all about, everything is about how you.
It's
attack
about
it.
perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, now don't get it twisted. You know, like, okay, you definitely to me have to still be ascending as a person. That's my main thing. Like, my biggest fear, like Chris said, is just, you know, I'm the type of person that always wants to grow and get better and stuff. I want my wife to have that same attitude. That's always my biggest fear in marriage. Like, so with that being my biggest fear, you know, it's just certain things I guess like I haven't, like, I guess that I would say I have an expectation of. What? Yeah. Alright, so, alright, well, it's perfect. So, alright.
So it goes to the next question. It goes right
So, what are you guys' expectations in dating and in marriage? Like, what are your expectations, you know, when you're dating somebody, when you're in a relationship with somebody, and, you know, I guess, like, after that, what do you think, you know, you can answer that part for sure, especially the change, what are the expectations in marriage?
So y'all want me to tag it first from the marriage, or y'all want to go first? Then I
Go first.
Yeah,
Okay, so like with me, my expectations, honestly, man, going into, looking back on all the relationships I ever had, my expectations going into every relationship has always been, do I see you as being my future wife? It's always been, and I hadn't been in that many, you know, so every one of them is, can I see you as being my wife? Now, in the beginning, I might have said, yeah, I can see that, I can see it. But I really feel like I was speaking more of a place, more from a place of actually lust than actual spirituality. Because, like I said before, I mean, I'm not the most powerful Christian in the world. I'm not, you know, I'm just not. I don't read my Bible every day. I don't pray like all that, right?
Yeah. Like
But back then, I was in a place of I'm just looking at it from lust, man. So I'm like, oh yeah, I can see you as that because I'm looking at it from, oh, well, she gives me this, she gives me that. You know, we do argue every day, but you know, I can look past that for this. See what I'm saying? So like my expectations, especially when I met my wife, going into that, I was like, you know what, I'm taking lust out of it, I'm taking sin out of it. I don't want it to be based off of sex. I don't want it to be based off what you can do for me, you know, just pleasure wise or whatever. I want it to be off of what can I bring to the table for you, and then what can you bring to the table for me. And you know, like I said, we took it slow for a month, and in that month we really brought to the table, okay, what what can you provide for me and what can I provide for you, to where we can build together and actually grow together, right? And I mean, really, what I found is that she brought to the table just a strength that, from a woman's standpoint, I never saw it. I've never.
What specifically?
So like again, like if she, when it comes to her spirituality, man, it's like she is tough. Like she prays. She's a prayer warrior. You know, she read her Bible, man. And she just was on a point spiritually to where, man, I was like, oh, that's different.
Yeah.
I never experienced that. Like every girl I've been with, she probably cussed like a sailor and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just, and I'm not knocking nobody.
Yeah.
I don't want to seem like, I'm not trying to condescend
Yeah,
anybody.
but it was
It's just
different.
It's just different, right?
Like that before.
And so I'm like, and I don't want to seem like, oh, you jumped at the first spiritual girl you saw. No, I've dealt with a few. You know, not that they weren't my girlfriend, but I've dealt with a few.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it was just, it hit different. And like I said, her background, man, her family, what they stand for, and like I continue to reiterate that, because that's important.
Mm-hmm.
Like
you married
you
a family, you know.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, not necessarily. I wouldn't say married, because some people take that. I married the family, but you know.
But you gotta be around these people.
But you gotta
all
be,
the time,
and I love my family. I love her family. Like, we all one big family. I love them. Like we all grow together. I get stuff from them. I love being around them. Okay.
Yeah.
So like, the expectation really was, can I see you as being my wife? I'm always dating to see, can you be my wife? Can I see you as being Mrs. Dewey? Right. So, and that was big for me, man, because I had got tired of being in relationships where they expecting way too much from me, and I'm not expecting anything from them because I know they can't provide anything for me, right? Yeah. And I'm just in a relationship just off of lust.
Yeah.
And that gets draining, man. When you find yourself doing things out of the ordinary, like getting up at 2, 3 in the morning just to go to a girl house and you know anything good out of it.
Yep.
Like that's something that you really just gotta sit back and be like, man, this is not what God wants for my life, man. And especially when it comes to, that's what you're going for, because anything can happen to you out in 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
You know? And when you operate out of lust, you don't see it like that. You just see it as, oh man, I'm about to go get this here a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She about to, yeah. So that was just a big expectation for me going into my marriage, man. Just, my wife, I want to take everything slow, step back out of the lust, man, and just let things play out in front of me, man. That was the biggest thing. That was my expectation. I just wanted to see, what can I provide for you, and vice versa.
So what about you? I mean, since you're in a relationship now,
and I hope that made sense. I hope I wasn't rambling too much for y'all, because I want somebody to get something out of it, you know.
Yeah, bro, I felt that was deep, bro. What would you say?
I was like, deep.
I mean, so what about you being in a relationship now? Like,
What are your
expectations?
in dating, I guess?
Man, definitely they battle.
Oh, every day.
And it took me the first thing I was doing, I was winding up for college, about to graduate. I was getting my mind right. You know, we coached football together. Football took up a lot of time. Working 40 hours a week while being in school, it took up a lot of time. When those started to go away, it's like God opened up give me some effort. So I started putting my effort in God. And then I was, like I said, shooting forward to striving to get better from Him. And it's really like I felt like He sent me a helper. And He showed me something I'd never seen before. And it changed the whole outlook on my entire life. And that was something I didn't know I expected, because, to be honest, I was operating out of lust before, like you were saying. And then it's like when your whole mind switched from that, it's like, me and my girl don't have sex. You know what I mean? Me and my girl are like praying every morning. Me and my girl are, trying and attempting, and then we see Him move now. I couldn't see Him move in my other relationships because I was 90% God with everything else, but 10% of it, I kept Him away because it's like, you was doing wrong in the back of your head. Yeah. So, and I'm not trying to put any pressure on her or on me or anything like that, but it's like you can see stuff just way clearer whenever you take a step back and understand that all of those things that you was putting value in, that's why it didn't work.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, that was why my other relationships didn't work.
Exactly.
I feel like the kingdom women and the kingdom men, like, if two people are for the Spirit and, and they're driving and they're striving to grow with God, you're going to meet somebody that y'all can attack it together. That's why I felt like, the whole icing on the cake and stuff like that. I feel like there are many women out there that you could potentially make your wife. I think of all God's women are wifeable. Like, if they're in the Spirit and they love God, I think they are wifeable character-wise and stuff like that, of course you have that ability to pick from that, I do think. And I also think God, like in the Bible, it says he promised us a helper. And if you view it from that outlook, I really changed and went away from, I don't want to corrupt her. You know, I don't want to do anything that he gonna be like, wow, I sent you some help, and then that's what you do with it.
Right.
So when you take the lust out of it, and then your expectations is to like honor God in your actions, I was able to grow so much more. Like I was able to start a job, and on that job I was able to learn and excel and things like that because I'm focused now. I'm not at 2:30 in the morning trying to go drive and get whatever.
Right.
It's like, what can I do next to, bring him glory? So when I started attacking it from that, I realized, wow, this relationship is really what sparked that.
Right.
You go what I mean? What
I
about
would
you?
definitely say the expectation for me at this point is, I've been a Christian, per se for a long time, but I haven't always really tried to actually live the lifestyle, all the way. So at this point, it's of the utmost importance for me to, live that lifestyle and stuff. And one thing I noticed with me, and because I was the type of person that, because like you said, I was honoring God sometimes, but not all the time. I definitely compromise in a lot of situations. One of my expectations is I expect somebody to honor God also, not just tolerate him in my life. You know what I mean? That's a big thing for me because, I've tried to go, without sex and relationships and things like that. And one thing I noticed, like even now, you really have to look at, people's like reactions, when you're talking to them, like, with women, they'd be like, oh, that's good, like stuff like that, but they wouldn't really be like as enthusiastic about it or as sure about it or as serious about it as I was. And me being the type of person who at that point was willing to compromise just because I just was, and deep down I wanted to do it anyway, so it's whatever.
Right.
But but at this point now, because I have expectations of I really want I'm dating to really marry, and I've had the same expectations of you, but I wasn't thinking out of the mind to marry. You know what I mean? So it was never going to really go that way. But I have an expectation for a woman to be as serious about honoring God as I am, and also just having that respect for themselves, just really knowing their worth, and if they don't know fully, really be willing to find out. You know what I mean? There may be a way there's going to be a way that I have to pull them up, they have to pull me up, cool. But really respecting yourself, really having that self-worth. I don't want to be with somebody just so they can, they can just totally just have me, be the person that pulls them up and stuff. You got to be pulling yourself up first. You can't help anybody that doesn't really help.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I want you to be an individual. I want you to have that respect for yourself. I want you to max out in your life, and be the best that you can be in every way possible. But, us coming together, then we can become better together. But those are the two big expectations for me, for sure.
All right, man. With that being said, Chris, bro, I just want to ask you, bro. I got a good question. I feel like when it comes to dating, your end, like, what are your expectations going into a dating situation? Like, what do you expect? Not only from the woman, but also from yourself. Bro. Why you laughing, dog?
I guess y'all always gonna ask when I answer this question, but like for me, y'all know me, and y'all know, my expectations can be, out there sometimes. But for me, like, my expectations are high. Like, they really are.
Still going, huh?
It might still be, But for real, like, my expectations are high. Like, I expect a lot when, getting into a relationship, especially we talking about courtship and potentially being my wife. I understand that that's, the second biggest decision of my life.
Right.
So I take that, there's a lot of weight that comes with that. Okay, expectation from me is if you're my woman, right, if I'm courting you, I'm going to push you to be the absolute best woman that you can possibly be. That's mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. I will push the greatness inside of you even more. Even if you already are great, I will push that even more. That's part of who I am. I do that with my friends. I do that with my family. I will push you. I will cultivate you. I will make you into something that you don't even, like you didn't even know you had the potential of. But with that being said, my expectation is also having that being done in return too. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be that man to be like, best way I could put it, like, from my aspect of, man, I want to be better than the man that you pray to God for. That's my goal. I'm trying to be on that level. So I need, like, a woman to come with that same energy. Hey, I want to be that woman that's better than the woman that you pray to God for. And that's a lot. Like, that's just a lot. So, and, your woman represents you. I need somebody that represents me well. So, in return, I expect you to push me, to motivate me, to inspire me, to make me feel like, man, I got to step my game up. You know what I mean? Like, I want that. That needs to be a two-way street. So with that being said, all that also comes with, being emotionally stable, being transparent, being honest, be able to take criticism.
There we go.
But like all that, and to be able to be loving, to be able to be honest, to be able to be loyal, to be able to be, all those things go with that. Like I don't leave like a couple attributes out, like just out in the wind. Like I need, my expectation is all of that. Now I understand that we're all in a process, and we're all growing, we're all getting better and forward, and that's what I've been learning. Like now, especially through my past relationships, that we all are getting there, you know what I mean? So I try not to be as hard in that, but that's still like my expectations, as we go, because I want to make you to be that godly woman, or assist you to becoming that godly woman that God has created you to be. And I want you to do the same for me. I think that's the best dynamic for a relationship is. You know what I mean? So, right, when we both become our best, and like you said, like we're working towards that same goal. I think that is the goal, and that's like my expectations. Now, mind you, it's a lot. Like trust me, I know from it's a lot to take in, and not everybody is one willing, and two can just receive that up front, receive all that pressure that might be on you. You know what I mean? But essentially, like that's why we train, right? That's why we work out in football, right? So when the lights, cameras come on, you can be able to perform and execute the plays that you've practiced. It's the same thing almost, like in a relationship. It's crazy how I look at it like that way, but that's kind of like how I look at it.
All right. Wow, good conversation. All right.
I do admire that, like, just from the jump, you expect something. Like, that is amazing to really have that, if you think about it. Like, and I have to go away from my, personal perspective. And, like, that's why it's good for us to have these conversations, because you could take bits and pieces and, correct some things that maybe you thought was flawed and stuff like that. So I do really admire, like, the fact that it's like you want somebody that's going to be as driven as you to come in. Right. And it's like you don't need to turn them up because they should already be turned up themselves.
Right.
And like
I
feel that.
You should already be turned up yourself, but even if you are turned up, I'm gonna push you even more. Exactly. And I expect you to be like, man, he's doing some things. He on the road for greatness, but I'm gonna make him even better.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like, man, you can't beat that. You can't beat that.
My personal deal, why I was not lenient to that beforehand, but it's just like, a season might last longer than just like a week, like a bad season. I ain't just saying like a season since like football. Like life. Like, man, that down period while you're married might be for like 2 or 3 months. But, what if we're catching them in a 2 or 3 month period where they're down?
But
you know what I mean?
I think the only difference with that is you said in marriage.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, after I make that commitment in front of God, hey, through thick, thin, whatever it is, I ain't moving. I'm not budging. I ain't cheating. I ain't stepping out. I'm with you till death. Yeah. Like I take that marriage stuff seriously, and I'm only getting. So we riding or dying together. Yeah. Period. It ain't nah.
Yeah.
It ain't going down like that.
That's what I said. I love and admire the fact that that drive is up there for the just having that willingness to take it day by day is a big deal as well. Because you don't want to get too deep in it where it's just like you ignore that it is a process.
Right.
You want to keep it where it's like, hey, every day might look extremely different than the one before.
Right. I like these conversations. I'm just sitting back and really we just having a conversation. as boys. You know, we just having conversation. We just talking, and you know, we can learn something from each other, man. It doesn't matter. Like I'm married, but I can still learn stuff from y'all, and vice versa. You know, so like as you have conversation, man, as you talk and as you listen to people, bro, like you can really see things from different perspectives. Like we're 4 different people, but I can, as y'all explain things, I can see it from y'all perspective. I can see it from Byron, Chris, T. I can see from different perspectives other than mine, which helps me understand where y'all coming from, right? So I feel like that's important, and that's important for you guys too, man. If y'all got questions, like if we say something and y'all like, I need you to explain that a little more, man, hit us up. We got Instagram, Twitter. I mean, in the comment section, just man, get with us. Like, hey, look, you said this. I need you to elaborate a little bit more on that if you can, and just hit us up because we want this to be interactive.
Right.
So we want y'all to be asking questions and you know just trying to figure out, okay, what do y'all really, you know, what y'all truly stand for. You know? So that's important, man. So do that.
So with that being said,
I'll take your job.
No.
I'll take your job.
Hey, look, first off,
Take your
you
job.
finally got uncomfortable, you know what I'm saying?
The
So,
quarterback.
hey,
That's what that
glad
was.
to have you in there.
That seeped out like
Yeah,
that.
take your leader position, bro. But look, hey, real talk. Hey, like he said, we want this to be as interactive as possible for you guys. So we got the subscribe page. Don't forget to subscribe. Comment under the YouTube videos. DM the page. DM us. Send us questions or things that you may want to see asked on the show. We wanted this to be as interactive as possible because it's not just about us huddling up. It's about you guys huddling up too and huddling up with us. You know what I'm saying? So as much as it can be interactive, we want it to be. So you guys are just as much a part of this as we are on this camera. So we just thank you again for just tuning in this great episode. We've got so many more things coming for you guys. And we really, really just thank you for just giving us a little bit of your time throughout this day. And we pray that you just continue to be blessed. And do not forget
To what?
Huddle up.
huddle up, baby.
huddle up, baby.